This is the Bison Football Show with Coach Matt Entz, hosted by Jeremy Jorgensen, and presented by Gate City Bank.
Well, North Dakota State lined up another top 10 opponent and once again dropped the physical hammer. This time, Northern Iowa was in the path of the Bison freight train. Impressive performance by the team. Here to discuss it, the head football coach, Matt Entz. And, Coach, congratulations to you and your staff. It's always an interesting week with Northern Iowa. They're a big physical team, probably one of the tougher preps in the league. Oh, definitely. They have great talent on both sides of the football. I think both programs are relatively familiar with one another, and you are exactly right. They're going to be extremely physical, and it's always a heated contest. Dual threat quarterback, and he's a young player, so that was a new element they brought to the table this year. It was. There wasn't a lot of film on him. I think he's a competitor, and he's kept them in games. You saw the Iowa State game. He probably single-handedly got them into overtime, and he was their biggest part of their offense. They've struggled to run the football of late, and so him scrambling around extended plays, taking some shots has really helped open up their offense. No doubt about it. Let's roll the tape of the first half. It was a very entertaining first half at the Fargo Dome. A great crowd despite the snowstorm that rolled through the upper Midwest this week. Opening drive, I thought a really nice mix of plays by Coach Tyler Rolla, wasn't it? Did a great job. Anytime you can come out and start fast, and that's one of the things we continually talk to our players about, is just getting out there, getting some first downs, and getting into the flow of the game. He really had a nice pocket to throw from, too, didn't he, from the Rams? Our offensive line and crew chiefs do a great job of protecting Trey. And, again, I think we won another game without a sack. Yeah, swinging gate, talk about this play. Well, we had went back to 2017 and found a clip very similar to how we would align, and we said, let's do it on the first one. We probably felt like we could have every one throughout the course of the game. Yeah, no doubt. Will McElvain, a little bit of a gunslinger, isn't he? He did. He threw a couple in here on some big zones on us, and that was a third down that kept the chains moving. What was the pressure plan against him? Well, we wanted to be kind of controlled. We wanted, because you don't want to get caught in a lot of back-to-the-ball coverage, or otherwise he's going to run around and extend plays. Yeah, Jabril Cox was really wreaking havoc, wasn't he? Well, you see right here just the speed that Jabril has. 13's a good athlete, but Jabril just reeled him in. Yeah, they missed a field goal on that one, so no points right there. They moved it a little bit, but quarterback run was big for the Bison early. It was. We were able to crease them down the middle on some of our iron and steel run game, and it was positive. Overall, in the first half, Cole Green was pretty locked in early. We were doing a good job, and there's a big play by James Hendricks, and our kids play hard. They understood. Here, sniffing out the screen, and a year ago, you and I had heard us on screens a number of times on third down. No doubt. Offensively, Bison football setting up the pass with the run here. Good physical run. It is. You see Ty Brooks being able to get north and south. Great job on the perimeter with some of our outside zone run game. One of the great plays of the year. Great throw pass. Big, long catch radius. Just ability to go up and get it, and then having the know-how to get his foot in the ground. Oh, impressive catch. I mean, Trey Lance dropped that in the shoebox. 15-0 right there. Forcing third down with some pressure here. It did a nice job of making him step up into the pocket rather than trying to be able to get outside on the perimeter and extend the play. They were pretty good on third down in the first half. They were, and this wasn't one of our better plays, and we wish we could have that one back, and we'll continue to learn off our mistakes and get better. Well, down 15-0, they roll the dice here a little bit on the play call. They did. Trying, little maybe frustration on the offense and a trick play, and of course, James Hendricks doing a nice job staying home in some big coverage and getting a pick and getting our offense an opportunity to go score. Momentum's a big thing in sports, especially in football, though, and had control of the game, but this really flipped the momentum, didn't it? It did, and like you said, turnovers happen. Great hustle, great effort by our guys to keep the Panthers out of the end zone right there. Yep, and they do cash in. Nice little ball by McElvain. It was. He put it right where only his receiver could catch it, and we need to do a little bit better job in our red zone. It's always a physical game with Northern Iowa. We'll see Phoenix Sproles take a real shot over here. He came up fine, but this was the type of game it was, wasn't it? It is. It always, like I said, these two teams know each other so well and have such great familiarity with one another. Cofield and Brooks, Adam was really running with power. Ty as well, moving the pile on this play. Just really good job by both guys. These guys continue to drive their legs. We're getting linemen downfield, trying to get a second block, and I think it says a lot about the mentality of our offense. Well, getting points. I know you want to finish with touchdowns, but that makes it a two-score game right there. Exactly. And, points are always positive. We want to do better in the red zone, be more efficient, as far as scoring touchdowns, but I'll take 3.
This was a pretty good drive by UNI, really. Throws up a 50-50 ball here, and they're moving it down the field here.
They are. We brought a corner pressure. He identified it and was able to go back to the X.
Yeah, they get a touchdown here, so it's 18-14, so not a big margin of error at this point in this football game. It's 18-14, and you have one more shot before half here, and really move the ball really nice to try to make this a full one-possession game.
We did. You know, we used some quarterback run game. We were able to get up on the line of scrimmage and execute a little bit quicker, use our timeouts to try to create some situations where we could be effective. Here, Kobe on some of our perimeter run game, getting on the edge.
Yeah, Kobe's his burst is really impressive, isn't it?
He is. He was a 10-500 guy in high school, and you see a little bit of that on the football field.
Well, there you see it, 18-14 on our Nodak Insurance first half scoreboard right there. Rushing yards 18 for UNI. They're struggling to run. They've been struggling to run it all year, though. The Bison starting to rack it up at 151. Third down conversions right there. UNI had a good first half, but foreshadowing a little bit, they did not have a good second half on third down. The Bison made great adjustments. Before we get to the second half, here's our Would You Rather with Marquise Bridges.
This is Would You Rather with the 2019 Bison, presented by Gate City Bank.
Would you rather go skydiving or cliff diving?
Skydiving.
Would you rather go camping or stay in a hotel?
Hotel.
Would you rather shovel snow or swat mosquitoes?
I'm swatting mosquitoes.
Okay. Would you rather swim in a pool or a lake?
Pool.
Would you rather drive or fly when you're going somewhere?
Fly.
Would you rather walk 10 miles or go to the dentist?
Walk 10 miles. Twice.
Would you rather bite your tongue while eating or step on a Lego?
Step on a Lego.
Would you rather sit on a beach or a cruise ship?
Cruise ship.
Would you rather confront an alligator or a bear?
Bear.
Okay. Would you rather be thirsty or hungry?
Thirsty.
Would you rather sit in a tractor all day or an office?
Office.
Would you rather watch a movie at home or go to the theater?
Theater.
Would you rather drink coffee or juice in the morning?
Juice.
Would you rather eat candy corn or cotton candy?
Cotton candy.
Would you rather own a fancy house or a fancy vehicle?
House.
Well, Coach, just 18-14 at half. I'm sure there was a fair amount of discussion on what you wanted to do in the second half.
Well, we needed to continue to be consistent on offense and be effective in our run game, and that was the challenge. We knew they only played 4 or 5 defensive linemen, and we felt like if we could just continue to understand our game plan, that we'd start popping some big runs. And then defensively, third down, they were 3 of 5 in the first half on third down, and we didn't do a great job. And then, you know, to flip it and go, they were 1 of 7 in the second half. I mean, I think that told you kind of what our emphasis was. We just needed to get off the field.
Yeah, no doubt. They had the ball to start the second half as we roll the tape here, and this was the biggest play of the game, perhaps. It was one of the biggest for sure. As they're driving, Josh Hayes comes up big.
Yeah, it's just cover 2. They run kind of an exit concept. There's the under, you know, puts his chest and his shoulder on him. You know, great know-how by our guys just jumping on the football, and all of a sudden our offense has it at the 35-yard line.
And this was really well placed as far as the play call. They weren't expecting this at all.
No, this was a great play action. You know, again, Noah Gindorf, all he does is catches touchdowns.
Yeah, no doubt. He's very good at that. He was wide open, did not make a mistake there, caught the touchdown. You know, the receivers, they have a couple of good ones, don't they?
They do. Big, long kids that have good speed can go up. Again, Marquise was in a good spot. He flipped and tried to find the football, and it was a good throw.
You know, this was a really big sequence right here. They had a play. They get a drop. It ends up setting up for a field goal, but ultimately, this little sequence right here, they come away with no points at all.
It was. You know, they drove the football down, got it to the 20, missed what potentially was a touchdown, then missed a field goal, got a little momentum back on the defensive side of the football, and we needed that going into the rest of the game.
You know, really, this is a third down. You're getting off the field now on the third down here.
We are. We're starting to, you know, get after them on third. A great tackle in the perimeter by James Kaiser, throwing the receiver out of bounds and forcing the punt.
Fun to see the flea flicker. It was there, just the timing maybe just a little bit off, but this is something that we may be able to go back to later in the year.
Well, we saw that the aggressiveness of their safeties, and it was an opportunity. Let's get one of our best receivers with great speed, and just a little less air on the ball. I think it's probably a home run.
Yeah. What do you like most about this kid?
I think he's a great mix of power and speed. You saw early in the game where he ran over a linebacker, he gives you a lot of answers.
You know, really good reads by Trey in the quarterback run.
Doing a great job. And I knew after the fumble early, he was going to take it upon himself to rectify that issue.
You know, this is the start of the fourth quarter. This is where you really started out physical them, and these runs really started to stretch out. This is an Adam Cofield drive right here.
Yep, it was. And that last play was a 4th and 1 where we just kind of imposed our will on them, and Adam just took over. And we were going to finish in the end zone. And we talked about that at halftime, finishing drives.
You know, this is really the backbreaker here. This really separated it to 32-14 and has you in a really good position here in the fourth quarter, didn't it?
Well, it does. It limits them on offense and what they can do. They got into some more pass and some empty. We were able to continue to bring pressure. He does a nice job of jumping out of the pocket here, but you know, really none of the series turned into anything.
No, the drives were stalling, and really the return game here has been fun to watch. Trevor Height's been pretty darn good.
Trevor's been real efficient back there, does a great job making decisions. And here, I mean, it's just Cody Morgan who executes and runs our punt D, our return scheme, did a great job for us this week.
This is really fun here because Cofield busts one, but you see the emotion from him. Real quiet kid, but to see the emotion when he scores is pretty cool, isn't it?
He's stone-faced most of the time, but when he smiles, you know he means it. And what a big run for him.
39-14, the Bison pouring it on right now. Again, they made a couple of plays in the fourth quarter, but body language could tell you where this game was going. The drives really weren't extending at this point. Code Green, the twos are starting to get in a little bit. Good job.
Oh, it was great to see our young guys get more reps and keep them out of the end zone. That's always the thing you want to challenge when you get young guys in there is keep the score and just go execute.
Yeah, they turn it over on downs here. Obviously, they're going to go for it on 4th down. The game's pretty much in the balance here, and the Bison are in control, and Kobe puts the exclamation point on it with a 50-yard run. You really see his speed and top-end speed, really, on this one.
Oh, he does. He gets to top-end speed. Again, you know, I'll remind our fans, he was a 10-500 time in high school. So talented young man who just continues to, his role is bigger and bigger every week.
Look at that, a top 10 team into the Fargo Dome, and the final is 46-14 on our Nodak Insurance scoreboard. You see some of the numbers, 347 rushing the football, really for the second consecutive year, going over 300 against the Panthers. There you see the 3rd downs really slowed down for UNI, 4 of 13. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
I had a lot of good stuff. You know, I feel confident every week in what Coach Rowe and Coach Edwin put in the game plan. So just had a lot of good stuff, a lot of open receivers, and, you know, I trust those guys. They made a lot of plays today.
We wanted to change up the pressures, get the quarterback moving a little bit more that we did the first couple of series that they had the ball. So just switching up the coverages and just being better in our disguises.
You go through fall camp and, you know, you just keep pressing and you keep working hard. And, you know, when you, like I said before, when you get the opportunity, you make the most of it.
The offensive line, I think that, you know, everything starts and finishes them. You know, you might get sick of me saying it every week, but they dominate every week. And I think in that long drive in the second half, I think everyone saw that. You know, they don't take the foot off the gas. And obviously with great backs like Adam, you know, Ty, Dimitri coming back, just making a lot of plays. And it's just fun. It's just a lot of fun to work with those guys, and obviously the offensive line takes care of business. A lot of good things happen.
No doubt another good game for the Rams. Well, we certainly could have gone with Trey Lance or even Adam Cofield for our player of the game, but the back end of the defense made some huge plays.
The player of the game, presented by Nodak Insurance Company.
Well, Josh Hayes is a physical corner, and his big-time hit in the 3rd quarter, which forced a fumble and led to points, changed the whole game around. Hayes also broke up 3 passes. It was a good day for the Florida kid.
Yeah, it was a cover 2, just trying to show him a look, get the quarterback off of his normal reads, make him think we were in one thing, and shift to another last second. I mean, it was huge coming out of halftime. We had to set the tone, so I mean, just I saw a chance to make a play, and I did.
Marquise and Josh playing well. Josh is a real physical corner, isn't he? I mean, that's a play he loves.
Yeah, it is, and it was great to see him execute it, and everything he said right there. I mean, coming out, we needed to play well early, and you just want to get a stop But then to get the ball back on the 35-yard line, that was that shifted the momentum of the game, and good for Josh. He puts a lot of time and effort into his craft, and good to see him making plays for us.
Another defensive element to this game and the season so far has been James Kaiser. He led the team in tackles in this football game against Northern Iowa. He's 4th on the team in tackles right now, and he's playing in the box a lot. He's playing at linebacker. Just talk about what he has brought to the table for Code Green.
Well, you know, James is an outstanding football player, very smart, intelligent young man, and is physical enough that he can play in the box. And I think a lot of it goes back to our defensive line is so good that he's clean most of the time and can run and make plays.
You know, a sure tackler, too. That's a big part of the game defensively. It seems like no one ever gets by him. There's no yards after contact with James Kaiser.
Nope, physical young man, understands how to wrap up. You know, I'm crediting part of that to his football background, having brothers that played at college football, a dad that was a high school football coach. So another young man that came up with football in his blood since he was very little.
Yeah, I'm sure they had some good Thanksgiving football games at the Kaiser house.
That's
and
right.
He had some older brothers, so he got tough real quick. The perimeter Rams is a term you used yesterday. I really like this. I think it's certainly deserves to go back for another look. Look at the block by Christian Watson out here. And to break Adam Cofield into this play, we'll get the lower look of it as well. But these receivers and tight ends blocking downfield, it's really, really impressive.
It is. It just shows you the buy-in from our players. They understand that they need to be able to execute everything that we ask them to do and have a number of different skill sets. It's not about just catching or scoring touchdowns, but they got to do the little things that will enable us to be an effective offense or defense.
You know, the Rams are at the point of attack, but these guys down the field, that really breaks a run from 20 to 32 and maybe 50-yard big explosive play, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, especially when, you know, every play there's a safety or a corner that's unblocked, but when we can get a block in space like that and pop big runs, it only helps continue to create our momentum and gets our fans excited. But, you know, like you heard earlier, Adam and Trey, those guys, they see the value and the effort that people are putting into it. And our team is in a good spot right now, and everyone's playing hard.
Turnover margin has been so impressive. A +6 right now. Is that a good number as far as turnovers gained, turnovers lost? Obviously, you want to be plus, but through 6 games, what do you think about that number?
Oh, you'd always love to see, you know, more gained, especially me as a defensive guy. But those are things that you never really can count on. You try to create as many takeaways as you can. That's why we continue to practice them and have takeaway circuits. And we have ball security, circuits as well for the offense. So anytime we're positive and we're +1 per game, I think that's a good number.
Yeah, it is a great number. Well, Jimmy Kapuris has been making plays all year. Made a few at Illinois State. He's been doing a good job. A story of perseverance that you'll want to see. Stay with us. North Dakota State takes very few FBS transfers, and when they do, and that player gets on campus, they find it difficult to crack the lineup. It requires a lot of hard work and patience. One of the Bison receivers is the perfect example of this.
Today's Bison football feature story is presented by Olaf Anderson Construction.
A big part of the Bison offense now.
Now throws on the run, and Kapuris makes the reception, and he backs out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Good enough for a North Dakota State first down.
Wide receiver Jimmy Kapuris' path to Fargo was not like many on the roster. Kapuris was recruited by NDSU out of high school, but chose to go to Western Michigan. After a coaching change, Kapuris left the school and left football completely.
I mean, Coach Klannerman had reached out to my family and said, how's Jimmy doing at Western Michigan, not even knowing that I wasn't even there anymore.
So, in 2017, Kapuris made the decision to join the Bison, and on his first day, he was working out with the players.
I want to see, where my competition level is at. Coming from an FBS school, they're going to put me against some of the best guys, and so I was doing my thing, and then all of a sudden, just one cut too many, and my knee had just snapped.
Kapuris tore his ACL, MCL, and his meniscus, and his hope of seeing the field and making an impact right away was shattered. Kapuris said during his rehab he was able to rely on his support system back home.
Me and my dad are really close, and he made it easy for me to just stay positive every day.
And the positivity radiated from Kapuris, who became someone for other guys dealing with ACL injuries to lean on, like fellow wide receiver Cole Jacob.
After practice, you'll see him catching balls all the time and running routes, doing releases. That motivated me to get better, and same thing with, bouncing back from the injury, always doing rehab and stuff. It forced me to do it too.
For Kapuris, dealing with the injury was a trial, but one he reflects on positively.
And I just think that coming off that injury and just realizing how much work I have to put in, that
you know, that it was never going to be easy, but it's always going to be worth it.
For the Bison Football Show, I'm Alex Egan.
Jimmy making those tough catches out of the slot. Good to have him in the program. The Bison are loaded at tight end, but you never have enough in that room. Sitting in the shadows right now is a good prospect from central Minnesota.
The future crop of Bison, presented by Peterson Farms Seed.
Travis Yonke has played in 2 games already. This is a big kid already, 6'4", 248. Even though he has the physique, he knows it's the finer details that will eventually get him on the field.
Every day has been a learning day for me. Since the first day of fall camp, you learn the offense. You learn just little things in blocking and pass routes that can help you be a successful football player that you never even thought about in high school.
Boy, that room has another one to work with in the future. Has a bright future, huh?
He does. He dressed a couple games early for us this year because of some other injuries. He's filled in. He's done a nice job. I see him down there when he gives a look to the defense. He does a great job. And so Tyler Roll has another special young man in that room who has already had a ton of buy-in, and it's good to see him being a Bison. He's going to be a really good one down the road.
Yeah, no question about that. Well, Missouri State is up next for the Bison in the Fargo Dome. We'll talk about it. Stay with us. Well, coming up this week, it's the Missouri State Bears coming to Fargo. They had a tough one against South Dakota, but Missouri State coming in here. It's another Valley game for your team.
Always a tough game, and going to have a great week of preparation, great week of detailing our work and making sure we make practice count. And so hopefully the weather will warm up a little bit. We won't have to practice out in the cold, but regardless, we'll be ready to go next weekend.
Overall, through 6 games, what impresses you the most about your team? And what do you want to continue to get better at?
I think, and I don't want to say it over and over, but our kids' willingness to continue to get better. Find the little things. You know, early in the season, it was big picture items that we needed to get better at, just learning the offense and defense. Right now, it's the little things that can separate us from the other teams in the league, and we just got to continue to work and stay healthy.
Yeah, the guys are having fun. It's really fun to watch them out there compete every week. Missouri State is this week. We'll watch them again. The Bison Radio Network will be fired up. Of course, statewide TV and ESPN Plus as well. 2:30 kick for Missouri State. We'll see you at the Fargo Dome. The Bison are undefeated. Enjoy it, everybody.
Bison!